How to train your reactions in fighting games. In Mortal Kombat 11, we're going to create 4 recordings against Jade. So the first recording, we're going to make her do forward 2-1, a double overhead string. The second recording, forward 3-4-3, a low mid-mid string. The third recording, walk up throw. And then the fourth recording, run cancel into throw. You'll probably think of a better option, but I think low, throw, and overhead, that's enough to worry about for now. When we play back these recordings, make sure to set it to random hidden playback. So what makes this exercise so difficult? Well, in Mortal Kombat, you cannot break throws while blocking. This means that to throw break successfully, you have to recognize the throw is coming, you have to let go of the block button, and then you input the correct break. That's 3 separate conscious actions that you have to do in a very short amount of time. And that's very difficult to do. I like the way this fires up the synapses in your brain. Just that simple condition of having to let go of the block button is a very good way to fight against autopilot. And now you're adding in a low and an overhead mix-up. All that together is a really good way to start thinking about training your reactions. So in this exercise, what is the goal here? The goal is to not get hit by the low. The low comes out so fast, so might as well default to crouch blocking and eliminate that one threat from our mental stack. So now we're not even thinking about the low. We're focused on the slow overhead and the throw. The slow overhead is self-explanatory. If you see it, you stand up and you block it. If the throw comes out, you have to let go of the block button and then input the correct break. The reason why I say correct break is because in Mortal Kombat, you have to guess between a forward throw or a back throw. That's why I decided to not include it in this exercise. And now for the second exercise, we're going to do some scorpion defense. So recording number 1, walk back and forth into a jump in. Recording number 2, walk back and forth, jump and then teleport. Recording number 3 is back 1-4-3, a mid-low mid string. And then recording number 4 is going to be forward 4-2-3, a low overhead mid string. The main goal here is primarily whiff punishment of Scorpion's 2 strings. If Scorpion gets too close and you can't whiff punish, then block correctly and flawless block punish if you can. The 2 jump-ins are mainly to just keep you on your toes. You don't have to anti-air, you can even block his jump-ins if you want. But if you want to anti-air, then I recommend using down 3. It's a good option because you either anti-air successfully or you low profile his teleport option. So it covers 2 scenarios. In this first Tekken 7 exercise, we're going to be practicing reacting against seeable lows. So let's create 5 recordings. Recording 1 is crouch dash 1. Recording 2 is crouch dash forward 1. Recording 3, crouch dash down back 3. Recording 4, crouch dash into King's forward crouch 1+2 throw. And the final recording is going to be crouch dash into forward crouch down forward 2. The name of the game here is no guess ducking. You should only crouch when you can visually confirm that a low is coming. And in this case, crouch dash 1 is slow enough that you can react and low parry every time. This in turn will free up your brain to block punish, forward crouch down forward 2, and break the 1+2 throw. The crouch dash down back 3 is just there for extra credit, since it's very difficult to react to. I mean, some people might say it's impossible, but I think if you're really on point, it's right at that edge of possibility. So give it a shot if you want to, but don't be too hung up on that. The goal here is to mainly always low parry the crouch dash 1, always break the 1+2 throw, and always block punish the forward crouch down forward 2. And now you're kind of starting to see the reason why each recording starts off with a crouch dash. It's meant to mask what's coming next so that you don't have any visual cues. Because here we're trying to go for, we're really trying to test our pure reactions. So we want to see things when they come out at the very last minute and test to see whether our reactions are fast enough to see those options. Now in the second exercise, we're going to be doing some throw break practice. And so for that, we're going to record 3 command throws from King. A 1 break, a 2 break, and a 1+2 break. Try to record it in such a way that as soon as you input the throw, end the recording right away, because that will make the recordings flow into each other much faster. Before we start attempting to throw break, let's first begin by crouching and then paying attention to King's arms. Generally, whenever a left arm is extended, you have to input a 1 break. When a right arm is extended, you have to input a 2 break. And when both arms are extended, you have to enter a 1+2 break. Obviously, a left arm or right arm being extended will look different on one player's side than it does on 2 players' side, so keep that in mind as well. One thing I like to do when observing King's arms is to say out loud the throw that I believe just came out. And when I'm doing this, I'm not necessarily trying to be as fast as possible. I'm more so aiming for accuracy. It's much better to be slow but correct than fast but wrong all the time. Because when you're slow but you correctly recognize the throw, you can eventually build up your speed later on. Whereas if you're always fast to the buzzer, but you're usually incorrect, then you're just building bad habits at that point, and it becomes a game of statistics. In a real match, sure, guess breaking is a very practical strategy. There are many situations where I'm only able to break throws because I made a note of what throws my opponents like to do the most, and then I just default to breaking the same throw over and over. But since we're in training mode and you can make mistakes without any judgment, it's a very good idea to just really challenge yourself and focus on accuracy and consistency. When you become proficient at this exercise, you can mix in reactable mids and lows as well. Because in a real match, throws will come out unexpectedly, in conjunction with the stress of dealing with highs, mids, and lows. Throw breaking consistently on reaction is a type of freedom in and of itself. It allows you to play the type of neutral you want to, and no one can take that away from you. This is why you want to really challenge yourself in training mode, so that when you go into a real match, you're already used to the stress. I find that I throw break well when I'm lightly aware of my surroundings. So I'm not too focused on just one thing, and the things that I am focused on are just in the right amounts. Eventually you want to reach a point where breaking throws on reaction doesn't require too much mental energy. You want it to be something that you can do naturally in the background. In order to achieve this calm and prepared mental state, you need to practice reacting to throws on a consistent and regular basis. This first Dragon Ball FighterZ exercise will simulate block string pressure. Recording 1. Dash forward, instant air dash, JMJL, 6M. Recording number 2, JMJL into Dragon Rush. Recording 3, JMJL into EX command grab. Recording 4, JMJL, 2L, 4L into Dragon Rush. Recording number 5, JMJL, 2L, 4L, 6M. Recording number 6, JMJL, 2L, 4L, 5L. Recording 7, JMJL 2L4L into EX command grab. And then finally, recording number 8, JMJL 2L and then straight into 6M. When we play back these recordings, set the playback method to repeat randomly. As for the playback amounts, I actually find this exercise to work better if certain recordings happen more than others. It's still going to be hard to react to things, regardless, but this helps just to make things a little bit more manageable. The goal of this exercise is to never get hit by any lows. So after blocking JMJL, we're going to default to crouch blocking all the time. That means that the 3 things we're going to be reacting to are the EX command grab, the 6M, and the Dragon Rush. The command grab we're going to jump to avoid. The 6M stand up to block it, and the Dragon Rush we're going to input L plus M to break it. One interesting thing that I've noticed is that it's extremely difficult to react consistently to all 3 options. For some reason, I find that I can only reliably react to 2 out of the 3 of the options. So if you find this exercise difficult, try to maybe accept getting hit by one of them and then focus on the other 2. So for example, get hit by the command grab, accept that it's going to happen, but then consistently break the Dragon Rush and block the 6M, something like that. But if you can actually react to all 3 options, then that's even better. Let me know in the comments if you can actually do it. This exercise is what I like to call reacting to options in neutral. For this exercise, pick Cell, Blue Goku, and SSJ Goku as the training dummies. So the first recording is you're going to record Cell doing instant air backdash, dash forward, up back, super dash, call a beam assist. The second recording is going to start off the same way, but after you do up back, you're going to call a dive kick assist, and then you're going to press J2M. Recording number 3, instant air backdash, dash forward, super jump over the opponent, and then up forward. And remember to stay on the same side. Recording number 4, super jump over the opponent, double jump to switch sides, and then super dash. Recording number 5, you're going to do the same thing, but now do a air beam into vanish. Recording number 6, you're going to super jump at the opponent, but just before you're about to switch sides, up back, call your beam assist, and then tag in Blue Goku. Recording number 7 is similar to recording number 4, but this time you're going to super dash a bit earlier, so you're going to end up with 2 variations of super dashing at the opponent. Set the playback amounts for the recordings like I have shown right here, and we can begin the exercise. So try to simulate a real match as much as possible. So dash around, maneuver around the opponent, double jump, super jump, things like that. But when you're on the ground and you see him do a beam into vanish, reflect that. If he super dashes at you, 2H. If he super dashes at you but covers it with an assist, then block correctly or reflect. Once you've mastered that, we can take things to the next level. Because ideally, in a situation like this, you're going to be wanting to jump over their assist, being in the air, and then punishing your opponent's tagging. In order to beat a super dash or a raw tag while in the air, you can't really 2H anymore because J2H doesn't have that upper body invincibility. So in order to beat a super dash while you're in the air, you have to hit them with a JLL instead. If you don't have an air level 3, this is the universal way to beat a super dash or a raw tag while in the air. Punishing a super dash or a raw tag with a JLL is probably one of the most difficult things that you can learn in Dragon Ball. But it's extremely rewarding, which makes it equally worthwhile to learn. So practice doing this on reaction, and you will see your fundamentals really level up. So we have reflect in 2H while on the ground, JLL while in the air, blocking correctly against cross-ups and stuff like that. If you want to take it to the next level, you can try to incorporate air to airs as well, and try to confirm it, which is a kind of reaction in and of itself. If you dash at the opponent and you get an air to air and it hits, then confirm it into a combo. But if the air to air gets blocked, then confirm it into a block string instead. So if you combine all these elements together, it becomes a very high octane exercise, since you have to be ready for so many scenarios. This first Street Fighter V exercise will involve reacting to both grounded approaches and approaches from the air. Once you set the dummy to playback recording, go to Action Recording Settings, and then in Start Recording Settings, set it to Button Input, and in Interval Setting, set it to 0. For recording number 1, have Vega walk back and then walk forward into crouching medium kick. Recording number 2 will be walk forward, walk back into forward medium kick, straight into down back. Recording 3 is walk forward, walk back, forward heavy punch into down back. Recording 4 is walk forward, walk back, jumping light kick. Make sure that the jumping light kick crosses up. And finally, recording number 5 is walk forward, walk back into dash and throw. When you're done with that, go to Action Playback Settings, turn all 5 recordings on, and set the replay interval to 0. Street Fighter V's training mode allows us to set it so that the health bars do not regenerate. By enabling this feature, we can make things feel very much like a real match, because now there's something at stake. You're being punished now for not reacting correctly. The goal of this exercise is to simply defeat Vega, but the caveat is that you cannot attack first. Offense is not allowed. You can only deal damage to Vega through defense and reactions. So if Vega jumps at you, you're allowed to air, or you can use cannon spike to anti-air. If Vega does dash up throw, you can check the dash with 2 crouch jabs into spiral arrow. And if Vega does forward heavy punch, you can block punish with a reversal spiral arrow. So there are only 3 ways that you can deal damage in this exercise: reacting to a jump in, reacting to a dash, and reacting to a unsafe move. You make a genuine attempt at attempting this exercise correctly. It's actually pretty challenging, not gonna lie. That's the mark of a good training exercise in fighting games. If it can make your brain struggle dealing with multiple options. And in a real match, that's what it's all about too. If you find that you're having trouble opening an opponent up, it's probably because you're not rotating enough offensive options around to really stress them out and overwhelm them. Even though this video is primarily about defense, it does give us a lot of insights into offense as well. If you find that you're having trouble defending against an offensive sequence, you can use that against your opponent, because chances are they're going to have trouble defending against it as well. Offense and defense are just 2 sides of the same coin. The second Street Fighter V exercise is going to be about whiff punishing on reaction, as well as punishing projectiles on reaction, via the use of invincibility frames. In this first recording, we'll set Guile to do crouching medium punch, crouching light kick, crouching light punch into sonic boom. Recording number 2 will be crouching medium punch, crouching light kick, crouching light punch into back heavy punch. Recording 3, simply press medium punch plus medium kick to do the first part of his V skill. For recording number 4, do crouching medium punch, crouching light kick into forward medium kick. And for the 5th recording, simply walk forward and walk back. This ties together all of the recordings. Try to defeat Guile through whip punishment only. Occasionally you can also try to go through his sonic boom with the EX spiral arrow, but only do it on reaction, because guess what, that's going to help you when you're actually playing in a real match. So to go into the specifics of how to actually whip punish, when you see Guile do back heavy punch, whip punish with standing heavy punch into spiral arrow. When you see a sonic boom come out, go through it with your EX spiral arrow. The closer you are to Guile, the easier it is to react to the sonic boom, but if you're too far, you might not be able to punish in time. So try to find the range that's most comfortable for you. When you see Guile charge up his V skill, whip punish with Kami's crouching heavy kick. Low sweeps are some of the fastest moves in Street Fighter. And not only that, its small hurtbox allows you to low profile underneath Guile's V skill and clip his legs. This makes it a very good tool for whip punishment in this case. Kami's low sweep doesn't have the best range though, so you're going to want to stay just outside the range of the V skill so that you don't accidentally make contact with it. Not only does this exercise help you with your reactions, but it also reinforces your sense of spacing as well. You can have the best reactions in the world, but if your spacing is off, then you might not be able to do anything meaningful with your reactions. These exercises help you develop fundamental skills that can be transferred over to Street Fighter 6 as well. Moves are a lot easier to whiff punish in Street Fighter 6. So if you can whip punish well in Street Fighter 5, then you set yourself up very well for this newest title. SF6 has a lot of situations where you have to check drive rushes in neutral, as well as drive rush cancels on block. This is very similar to how you would check dash-ins in Street Fighter 5. The new things to get used to in SF6 are drive parry, perfect parry, and drive impact. The best players are able to hit confirm their moves, observe whether their attacks collided with a drive impact, and then react with a DI of their own. It's very impressive stuff. You could probably make an entire video off of those mechanics alone. But generally speaking, those are also good things to test your reactions as well. And now let's go back in time 21 years and play some Virtua Fighter 4 Evolution. You might be wondering why I'm not using Virtua Fighter 5 for this. Well, VF5 doesn't really teach you the game in a fun, interactive way. Whereas in Virtua Fighter 4, they have pre-recorded exercises built into the engine, so the game itself becomes your training partner. Yeah, it's really crazy. Virtua Fighter 4 Evolution was so ahead of its time in terms of teaching you the game. No fighting game really comes close in that regard. I would say the closest would be Street Fighter 6, but yeah, like Virtua Fighter 4 does it right in terms of breaking up the learning process into little mini games. So starting from the main menu, we're gonna go to Training, Trial, and then press on Tactics Advice. We're gonna start off by picking Sarah as our training character. Go to Series and select Series 6. This first exercise is going to be about hit confirming. Essentially, 6PK is a natural combo, but on block it's very punishable, so you have to make sure that the 6P hits before finishing the string. Hit confirming is all about reacting to a blocked animation versus a hit animation. Once you recognize which animation it is, you have to either finish the string if it's on hit, or you have to resist the temptation to pull the trigger if the first hit of your string is blocked. If you can hit confirm successfully 5 times in a row, then you complete the exercise. This second exercise is all about mental frame advantage. The best way to explain it is to actually read the in-game description. After you block 6P, Jackie will either finish the 6PP string or attack with 6P again, respond to a single 6P by guarding high, and to 6PP by ducking under it and guarding low. Basically, the game is trying to tell you that Jackie is not allowed to abuse 6P into 6P or 6PP because these offensive sequences have gaps in them. So by correctly reacting to these gaps, by reacting to the animation, you can successfully take back your turn. The third exercise will involve evading moves with a sidestep. Jeffrey will attack with either 1K fully charged or 466P. Decide which way to evade and avoid the attacks 10 times in a row. Don't be fooled by how easy this looks on the surface. It's actually surprisingly difficult when you actually get down to doing it. And remember, you have to do it 10 times in a row, which is actually a lot to ask. You have to be very consistent with your reactions. This is honestly one of my favorite reaction training exercises. You can literally feel your brain having a workout. It's kind of like a Dark Souls boss battle where you have to roll in the right direction. It's honestly worth picking up a copy of Virtua Fighter 4 just for this exercise alone. This fourth exercise is about recognizing guaranteed throw moves. You can select any character you want as the opponent. Your opponent will attack with a random striking attack. After blocking the move, respond to guaranteed throw moves with a throw, and to others with a striking attack, such as 2P. Certain moves in Virtua Fighter, while safe on block, leave you open to a guaranteed throw mix-up. So this is what this exercise is all about. You have to react to those moves quickly and immediately throw them. You also have to recognize when other types of moves are blocked and crouch jab right away. Responding quickly in situations like this is part of the reason why people say Virtua Fighter is such a fast-paced game. At a high level, players are literally capitalizing on every small interaction, and they're making all these decisions every single second. It's very fast, high-octane stuff. It kind of makes me think about Tekken 8's design philosophy. You have these changes to counter-hit throws having a smaller throw break window, and there are times when throws are actually unbreakable, kind of like Virtua Fighter's guaranteed throw moves, but taken to the next level. And the heat system encourages closing in on the opponent and being aggressive. Even though Tekken is primarily a movement-based game, I feel that being able to fight at range 0, applying pressure, adapting fast, reacting appropriately, making the correct reads and coming out on top is a very valuable skill. And it's something that I would like to get better as well, because it helps a lot against certain opponents. I went on a bit of a tangent there, but yeah, it really helps to play multiple fighting games. You start drawing connections to your main game and strengthen skills that you might have overlooked. So yeah, that's all I wanted to talk about in this video. There are many creative ways to use the record feature in training mode to strengthen your reactions. You owe it to yourself to make the exercises as challenging as possible. Try to simulate real match scenarios and make a genuine attempt at reacting, because it can only help you in the long run. I do want to clarify that focusing too much on pure reactions can be dangerous. Sometimes it can make you perform worse because trying to react to too many things can be very mentally exhausting. A lot of the time, having good reactions is based on familiarity with move animations and what options you're choosing to prioritize, the things that you're juggling on your mental stack. Sometimes the emotions run too high in a real match to focus on improvement, especially improvement of reactions. But if the exercises are too predictable, then you might lure yourself into a false sense of security that you're improving your reactions. You don't want things to be too controlled or too chaotic. That's why I feel these exercises have a good balance of unpredictability, so that they can stress you out in just the right ways. And with that, I'll see you guys in the next video. CutCC, signing off.